Hey, it's Matt. Welcome to the Blanket Fort. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. There's a great podcast called Song Exploder where they take a popular song and they sit down with the artists and the producers and they work through how they came up with the song, what it means, what the process was, what the recording was. It's really fascinating. It's actually a documentary on Netflix also. I hope they do season 3 soon. You know, people ask me how I come up with songs. I thought it might be fun to do the same here. Just a disclaimer, I am a complete amateur. This is not a songwriting lesson. This is just what I do, and I thought it might be fun. And if you don't like it, you can watch something else. So I just finished writing a song, literally today. I thought, well, it's fresh in my memory. I could go through it. So how do I come up with a song? I am not able to sit down and write a song. I've tried. It doesn't do anything. I know that's a skill I should be developing, and hopefully when I have more time I can do that. You know, they say you should try to write 1 song a day. Good practice, so I'll get there. But right now I sort of wait until the inspiration happens or something happens. And even then, I don't generally start off knowing what I want to write a song about. I get something and I build from there. So, for example, this song, very typical example. I was just playing around on the guitar and just came up with a riff. Pretty basic riff. It's probably been used in 100 songs. That's okay. Most songs I use all the same chords anyway. It's not really about that. But I was just playing around with that and it felt like a good groove. And then just, you know, the first thing that came to my mind. Let it be love. Oh, let it be love. Oh, let it be love. So there, I got some words. Don't know what it means, but it sounded pretty good. It sounded like there might be something there. So my preferred method when I have time is I just sit down and, well, it's not going to focus on that. Focus, there we go. And just start scribbling. And usually then I switch over to Notepad or some other thing and write there. So, where do we go from here? Let it be love. What does that mean? Could be, you know, spiritual, philosophical, faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Let it be love. The whole song about that, but that's not really my style. It could be about finding new love. It could be about a relationship. You're just meeting somebody and getting interested, and maybe it's love. Let it be love. Not in that position either, happily. But how about rediscovering love? So you're been married a long time, you're in a relationship, all the daily stresses, just the daily mechanics of running a family and work and all that, you lose touch, etc. So how about rediscovering love? And then, peeling back all those different layers and finding out what's really still there under the covers. Is there really still a spark under there? So, and hoping that there is, let it be love. So I think that's now something that's real. For me, a song has to have truth. It doesn't have to have the whole truth. It doesn't have to be current truth. It doesn't have to be all truth. But there has to be truth. And I think there's an element here. We've all gone through that. So it's I think now I know what the song is about. We can get on with writing it. So yeah. So then so I went straight from there into the chorus. Let it be love. Oh, let it be love. Let it be love. Till we feel something and we'll let it be love. Something like that. There's something figured out eventually. Visceral is the current placeholder there. Something visceral and real. I'm not sure about that. We'll come back to it. Okay, so now I've got a chorus. Now, first verse, if you look at sort of typical songwriting practice, you want to introduce the story. And, so what's the story about? It's, so we're trying to rediscover each other, what's there, try to peel back the layers, drifted apart, all that sort of stuff. So I started off with, I was going to do a bunch of backstory of, we're jobs and busy and cars and cats and, kids and cars and cats and dogs and, all this whole litany of stuff that's keeping us busy. And then maybe I can then dive into the main part of the song, but it was like really long and if you don't have kids and cars and cats and dogs, it may not relate to you, and I try to write songs that are more relatable so I don't get too specific. I'll come back to that later, but to start with, I want to be really quick. So I just wanted to, sort of dive right in, and we lost ourselves in the daily grind, and sometimes I never know your name. Sometimes I barely know your name, and that's just trying to set the scene. And sometimes barely know your name is not literally. I mean, I call her the dog sometimes, but I do that to the kids also. But it's more about just sort of we don't relate on that level right now. I don't really know who you really are right now. And it's just sort of as the shorthand for, we've sort of lost touch. So, we left it. So lost ourselves in the daily grind. Sometimes I barely know your name. And now what we want to do is peel away, get past all that stuff and see what's really there. So it's like strip away the heartache, strip away the pain, strip away everything, and look at what remains of it we love. Oh, let it be love. That kind of thing. So, set up the reconstruct part, and now let's peel through the layers and see what's there. So let's just recap that. Okay, so now we have this as our opening verse to set the scene. I think that's pretty good and concise. Now, when I was singing it, I didn't really like the way it flowed. Great thing about singing is, in writing lyrics, is they don't have to be, specifically everything rhymes, everything has the same number of syllables. It's not like a rigid poem. But at the same time, it's still got to feel right, and it's kind of like the same. I started, daily toil and something, it's like, hustle and bustle, toil, and so I go to the trusty thesaurus and find, what's another name for busyness, etc. Lo and behold, there's a word called moil. So that's pretty cool. I can do lost ourselves in the daily toil and moil. So that's great. That flows better for me. Sometimes I barely know her name. Strip away the heartache, strip away the pain. Back to what I was saying earlier. It's not a tragic story. It's like it's not a breakup song or something. It's not, heartache and pain. It's just, just busyness, really. So let's not do this. Let's just go straight at it. It's like we'll strip away what I ended up with: endless days, the sleepless nights. And then constant haze. If you're tired all the time, you're not even yourself. You need a Snickers or something. The constant haze. So that sounds better. Now the problem here now is that the second line is very short compared to these others, which by itself is not a problem. Often you will use a short line for emphasis. You want it to stand out. But in this case, that's not the most important line, so I don't think it should be, have that sort of prominence. Change that to just sort of building on the previous. And then we have this repeating word strip. Sometimes that's good, sort of emphasizing something. I decided I actually like it better like this. Lost ourselves in the daily toil and moil. By the way, toil and moil, no one knows what moil is. Like, it must be some ancient word or something. So I decided I didn't really like that. So I was thinking the daily hustle and bustle. Well, that's a real mouthful. The daily helter-skelter. I don't think you want helter-skelter every day, in fact. I don't want it at all. But helter-skelter, how about hustle-bustle? So no one actually says hustle-bustle, but why not? Just shorten it down. People will know what it means. So let's try this.
Lost ourselves in the daily hustle bustle. Lost each other. Sometimes I barely know your name. Take away the endless days, sleepless nights, and a constant haze. Strip away everything and look at what remains. Let it be love.
Okay, that's good. I like that. So yeah, set up this thing. So now we're into second verse, and this is not necessarily written chronologically. I think I started in the middle of the page, probably with the chorus, and then worked up and worked down from there. But I'm running it through now in kind of the order of the song, so it makes a bit more sense. Okay, so now the first verse had a real strong purpose. The other verses, not so much. There's not not necessarily a specific objective for each of the verses, but I wanted to just have each of them has a certain theme and style that I wanted to get into. So the second verse was really around sort of contrasting, sort of saying maybe we're in I don't want to say a dark place. We're not in a dark place, but we're in a we're in a low, and contrast that with a high. And so we want to you think of love and all that stuff as a high, but right now we're not there. So what's at least in the song. So sort of play on those contrasts. So wanted to. So there were a few different things that went through, like
need some kindling for the fire to ignite.
no, actually, it started like
Need the darkness to have a light. Need the kindling to the fire to ignite.
and going from there. And didn't like that too much. Need dead wood for the fire to light. I was trying to go from just kind of like dead to alive, and that didn't work too well. Then I changed it around a bit.
Need to know nothing before you know you've had enough.
That was kind of awkward. It took me a long time to finish that off, but eventually I worked through that. Worked through a couple lines there.
Need the rain to grow your flowers. Need the darkness to see the stars above.
And now, so that's more sort of general. I want to move into a little more the emotional side of that, the equivalent to that in an emotional sense. So it's,
Get no joy without remembering the sadness. Need longing to feel love.
So, there's an example of using that short line for emphasis. In fact, I'll probably leave even more dead space after just to really sort of drive that point. And it's more about, if you want to find love again, if you want to do that, you need to recognize that you're missing it. And you feel that longing sometimes. It's like, you long for their touch or whatever. And, talking in general terms here, everyone goes through this. Right, so now we got our second verse. Now, if you look at a classic song, it's verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, chorus. The bridge being a place you can express some different thoughts. You can change the music, make the song more interesting. So when I find them the hardest things to write, I'm pretty good at knocking off some verses, but then the bridge, because it's different, I find that difficult. So, I usually, case in point, this one, I just left it a placeholder. That's the last thing I finished was the bridge. And so I was thinking it was like,
We'll let it be love. Let it be.
I don't know, something different musically and expressing different thoughts, but I'm actually just going to come back to that. Yeah, so we end up with this. So we have our two verses, we have the extra the chorus, and then the bridge will fit in there somewhere. Right. So I'm going to leave the bridge for now and just go look at the third verse, and This we're sort of want to try to wrap it up, and to me now we're going to right down into the heart of it and the real emotional center of the song. And this was actually quite hard. It really struck me as I was writing this part. So I had the idea of using kind of 4 lines: what I see, what I dream, what I think, and what I feel, and sort of build and those different perspectives of the situation and what I'm feeling. And actually, one of those rare things that happens once in a while where you write a line and you sing it and it just hits you. And there's definitely a case here in the last line. Try not to lose it this time. So, with my eyes, see what's there in front of me. So when I'm still a bit awkward phrasing on that one. With my eyes, see what's in front of me. So this is like the physical, is what I see. In my dreams, I see where that it could be. Or in my dreams, I see the possibilities. I think I like the first one better. In my dreams, I see the way that it could be. It's more specific than all the possibilities, because there are all kinds of possibilities. And then this next one, this is kind of like the fatalistic side that I don't know if everyone has that. I have that, but it's sort of, and then it'll contrast with the final line after the head and the heart. So, in my mind, I know that nothing good can last forever. Pretty fatalistic. Nothing good can last forever. I'm kind of setting myself up for, I'm opening this box and there's going to be nothing in it. And then I hit this last line and basically lose it. That in my heart I feel it, unmistakably let it be love. Oh, let it be love. Unmistakably, kind of like that. I was thinking unconditionally, sort of typical. I think I ended up with undeniably. It's a little easier to let it flow a little bit more smoothly. But in my heart I feel it, undeniably let it be love. So basically saying, no matter what my eyes are telling me or what my heart's telling me, it's like, I feel it. I do feel it. And it's, I'm pretty sure it's what I want it to feel like. And then from there, it's just, doing the outro. And a couple comments on the music. Keeping this very simple from an instrumentation perspective. I was playing around with some different progressions. I could have thrown in some more chords, play around in the key of A, you've got a bunch of chords available to you. Some weird G chord there. Nothing Beatlesque, the Beatles and other bands are such creative chords and sounds and progressions, but I wanted this to be very straightforward. It's all about the lyrics, and when I recorded, I'm planning to add some more color, some more layers with other instruments and so on. But I wanted the basic start to be very simple. And one of the things for singer-songwriter genre is if you can't sing the song around a campfire, then it's not a song. So as much as a lot of the music I like, I don't even know what the lyrics are. I don't listen. It's all about the sonic experience, and I just love the soundscapes and things you can only do in a studio. But if you're going to write a song like this, you can't rely on the studio stuff. So it's very something you can play. And my skills are also such that I can play simple things, so that works. But yeah, like I said, I'll add more stuff to it when I record it. Then as far as melody, crafting a beautiful melody is an amazing skill and art, and a lot of people spend a lot of time and effort on it. I don't. I'm much more intuitive. Just kind of play it by ear, literally. You know, it goes up when it needs to go up, it goes down, it gets louder, it gets softer, depending on where I am in the song. I'm not sure I sing the same thing twice any particular time, which is not a good thing. You know, if you want to, you know, a hit song, the whole thing's about repetition, having exactly the same vocals, progression, everything, so that people can, you know, get caught with it. I tend not to do that, but you know, I think I come up with some melodic stuff. But yeah, it's very much there's no particular process to it. I literally start singing and just kind of just see where it goes. So no magic there, nothing to learn. Okay, so now we're back to deal with the bridge, and I don't like writing bridges. I know, just find them. I try to be economical with my words, and it's more words, the harder it gets. But anyway, they're a good opportunity to introduce some new music into the song, have some different ideas, often sort of a climactic or, you know, getting you ready for the final climax. So yeah, so bridges, traditional song, you would put a bridge in. So coming back to that, I was messing around with different things, had some different chord progressions in mind, got some music that kind of worked, and then it's a matter of figuring out, well, what is it actually that I want to say? So I started messing around a little bit with
let it be love that we feel, and real, let it be love. Let it be love, let it be you and me, together for eternity.
Together for eternity is like as cliched as it gets, so I don't want to go there. So I switched to something else, and there's another one of those moments where you sing it, and it's like, oh, shit. Just kind of hits you, but...
Let it be you and me, together like we used to be.
Yeah, just like that closeness, the stuff that, ironically, we've been together in COVID all the time. There's lots of togetherness, so, maybe this is one of those former truths, but, you get the picture there, together like we used to be. And then, another line I actually had sitting around from an earlier draft that I didn't know what to do with, and so...
imagining the future would be ours.
There's a short line, I just broke my own rule. It's no particular significance there. In fact, that's probably one of the throwaway lines in the song. It was the last line I filled in. I couldn't think of anything else to put there. And now we get back to the kids in cars. Now this actually fits. So it's...
After all, the kids in cars, the chores and jobs, the cats and dogs. After all, it's still just you and me.
So, okay, so it's, again, sort of re-emphasizing, it's like, all that stuff, like, I want to get back to where we were, there's all this stuff, and after all of that stuff, it's still back to us. And then we go into the last verse where it, just like, sort of emphasizes that, no matter what all these other things are saying, this is what I feel. And that's the song. So, so the last part of the song is what key to play it in. I've been doing everything in A. I want to try to figure a key that's not too low, not too high. I looked at A, I looked at A sharp, I looked at C, and A sharp was actually pretty good. So I'll do that and just take a pause while I tune. And now, as they say on Song Exploder, this is Let It Be Love in its entirety.
Lost ourselves in the daily hustle bustle. Lost each other. Sometimes I barely know your name. Take away the endless days, sleepless nights, and the constant haze. Strip away everything and look at what remains. Let it be love. Oh, let it be love. the stars above. Can't know joy without remembering the sadness. Need longing to feel love. Let it be love. Oh, let it be love. Let it be love that we feel. Visceral and real, let it be love. Let it be love. Let it be you and me, together like we used to be, imagining the future would be ours. After all the kids and cars, chosen jobs, the cats and dogs, after all it's still just you and me. With my eyes I see worlds there in front of me, but in my dreams I see the way that could be. In my mind I know nothing good can last forever, but in my heart I feel it undeniably. Let it be love. Let it be love. Let it be love we feel, visceral and real. Let it be love. Let me feel naked real, something I can feel. Let it be love.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the song. I might come back with part 2 of recording it. We'll see.